Welcome everybody. Nice to see lots of you have joined us today. If anybody's watching this afterwards, you still can comment and we will answer the questions as and when we can. For those of you that don't know me yet, I'm Emily Schofield and I'm looking after the international education for ELGON. So, as I've said just before, if you wasn't already joined us, we've got a very exciting, probably about 30 minutes for you now, to talk about what's going on here in April. So there's lots of new stuff happening. A very exciting month for us is April because we get to launch new products, but also a new concept which involves these beautiful ladies behind me. So without further ado, I'm going to go through what we're going to talk about. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask them or pop them in the comments box. But I won't be answering as we go along. I will answer them at the end, so we can all have a good chat and question and answer session after we've gone through what we want to talk about today. So, hope you are all well, and hello everybody. I can see a lot of people are saying hello, that's very nice, and it's great to have you all here. So today I want to talk to you about some products what we're launching, which is exciting, but also about a new concept for ELGON. So we are pleased to announce that we are launching our unique beauty stories this month. So what are our unique beauty stories? Well, these are our latest images and it's more about a story behind them. So as you can see, the first one and the images behind me is all to do with blondes. So the name of the first story in our unique beauty stories is Blonde Sensation. So, do blondes have more fun? If you are blonde, you will have to let us know, because obviously I'm not. So, what is a unique beauty story and why are we talking unique beauty stories? So here at ELGON, we wanted to encourage our salons to help the end consumer, so the end clientele, and we want to be able to offer them a bespoke service so that when your clients come in, they're feeling like their own service, what you're providing, is something unique to them, because everybody tells a story, and I believe personality and somebody's own ethos and mentality really comes from actually their hair and their appearance, and their hair is a massive part of their appearance. So the hair does tell a story. So why not write them stories individually and bespoke for each and every one of your clients? I'm sure they would appreciate it. Nobody wants to be the same as somebody else. Okay, so unique beauty stories is all about enhancing the personal experience. So how are we going to do that? Well, we need to help you so that you can offer it to your salons, to your customers. So the beauty stories are kind of like different sides to them. So one of the sides, and is really what we're going to talk about today, is new products. So with every story there will be a product focused within that story. So obviously with it being Blonde Sensation, it's going to be something to do with blondes this time. And so we've got some very exciting products what we will talk about and focus on. Now this is the first of two sessions. So today we are going to talk about the lightning side of the new products. And then we've got a more exciting side to come later on about how we can tonalise blondes. So another new line extension, which I'll touch on at the end as well. So also, aside from the products, we want to motivate you and excite you really with some looks. Now the looks you're going to see from ELGON for the unique beauty stories are very, very, very client friendly. And I think you'll agree with the ones you can see at the back of me. They're going to be eye-catching to clients. So they're not going to scare your clients into thinking, oh my God, if I go to that salon, I'm going to end up with this crazy wacky hairstyle. It's not about that. It's about encouraging the clients to see the beauty within hair and within hair colour. So that is where we want to help you guys into attracting the right client. And once you get that client, generally with blonde clients, if they find that right blonde, they will stick with you, because once they've got the perfect blonde for them, they are happy and they're not going to go nowhere. So within the Unique Beauty Stories, the looks what we have are also going to offer services. So added services, whether it be that techniques, what we're going to achieve from the new looks, or new services from products what we're launching. So part of the products what we will be launching this month is a new silver line. So an extension to our no yellow products at the moment. And that is what we'll talk about in session 2. So something to look forward to there, because you've got added services to offer them clients what want the purest, cleanest blonde. So I'm hoping that you're liking the images so far, because they are beautiful. But what we want to focus in on today, because you will be getting step-by-steps of all these images, you will see coming in the next few weeks, live step-by-steps, and you will see the actual official video step-by-step. So you're going to have lots and lots of education coming at you online through the course of the next few weeks. But today we're talking about our line extension to our eye blonde range. So we are launching and have launched 3 new lightening products, and that is what we're going to focus on today. So why? Why do we need to launch more lightening products? Well, as you're aware, we have launched eye blonde over the last couple of years with some previous products, 2 significant ones last year, and we'll touch on them as well. But really, for a blonde client, we need to make sure we can offer that client the right product. So we need to be able to offer you guys in your salon the correct lightening product for that correct client, because not one client is the same. So what we want to achieve on some people, we would use one lightening product, but that might not be the right for the next person. So we'll talk about which product to use on what, and when we would use which lightening product, the differences between the line. So yes, we've got exciting 3 new line extensions, but we'll work out and talk together about when we would utilise them. So we want to get that perfect blonde, but what is the main issue when lightening hair? And what scares a lot of clients when lightening hair is the condition. So people have a mindset still that if they're going to put a bleach or a lightener on their hair, it's going to damage the hair. That is not true. Bleaching the hair is not going to damage the hair. Yes, the texture changes because we're changing the actual hair, but it's not going to damage the hair unless we misuse the bleach, incorrectly use the bleach, overuse bleach or lightening products, or not using one what is going to look after the hair. And that's where eye blonde comes in that we have a specific complex throughout the entire eye blonde range, which is our AC oil complex. So what this means is we are maintaining and strengthening and protecting the hair during that lightening process. So we can reassure our clients that yes, we are fully trained and professionals and know how to use lightening products correctly, but not only that, we're using a product which is maintaining the integrity of the hair, and if not, strengthening it more. So who doesn't want to be able to tell the clients that and put them at ease that they can achieve their ultimate blonde goal without sacrificing the condition of their hair? So what is AC oil complex? Some of you may already know through previous launches, but it's a rich blend of oils, including soybean oil, lavender, sunflower oil and rosemary, as well as adding in there a calendula extract and vitamin E and bisabol. So this concept and this complex ensures that it covers off, stopping the hair from dehydrating. So the first initial phase of causing damage is if the hair gets too dry. If we dehydrate the hair through a chemical, it's going to become too dry and then it's prone to becoming brittle and the proteins breaking down and being damaged. AC oil complex, and its oils within there is designed to re-nourish, re-moisturise and protect, sustaining the integrity of the hair during the lightening process. So the hair afterwards is going to feel more manageable, silkier to touch, as well as getting the perfect blonde. We've also, in each individual separate range, which we'll touch a bit more on later, but we have marine phytoproteins. So each individual lightener has its own separate protein, what is designed to sustain and strengthen the hair. So when we come to each individual lightener, we will talk about their individual technologies, which makes them unique to the other. So, why do we need, what is so important about blonde market? Well, market research shows us that 40% of the customers what come in for a technical service actually need to utilise or want to utilise a bleaching service. So that's a big part, nearly half the amount of the technical services we are doing within salons that are going to use a bleaching product. So we have shelves full of colours, lots of colours to choose from with different tones, depths and things. So why not have, for that 40% of client, the right bleachers? We don't just have one bleach fits all. It's not like that in this world anymore, because we have to deal with different things. And clients are demanding more, especially blonde clients. If they want a blonde, they have in mind a specific blonde they want. So not only do we have to deal with their skin tone and complexion and what suits them, we also have to deal with their focus and their mindset, their objective of where they want to get that blonde. So that is why you need a range of lightening products to achieve these looks. So, advantages to you guys in your salons is that you can now, from iBlonde, offer that complete service and bespoke service to a salon client. Which, to me, that is fantastic. It's fantastic that in this day and age, especially with what we've gone through, we're still supporting you and bringing out these new products to support the needs of your clientele and make your life and your job a lot more satisfactory and a lot easier, because it's hard enough at the moment getting back into the salons, doing clients, that we want to help you as much as possible, make it easier. So you can now promote that your salon could be a blonde specialist salon. Take an opportunity to delve into the world of being a bit more bespoke. So, what is special about the lighteners? What is a lightener? We have a lot of powder lighteners, and why do we have the powder lightener? We have it because it's the most effective way to lighten hair. And because there's lots of demands in lightening hair, we need to offer that. So a lightener is made up of obviously a lot of ingredients, but the main key ingredients there are persulfates. So persulfates, powder lighteners, contains numerous different types of persulfates, and these are the things what make it able to go into the hair and dissolve that natural or that cosmetic pigment. So not only are we able to lighten natural hair, we can also remove artificial colour pigments as well, which in this day and age we do a lot more of than we used to do. So how does it work? So how does these ingredients in the powders and all the technologies what we've got in the powders, we've talked about how it maintains condition and things, but how does it actually work? Well, a bleaching powder actually needs a high alkaline, and the alkaline pH is there so that it can open up the cuticle there. Generally what you will find, for those of you who are interested in the pH values, that a powder bleach is generally around 12.5 pH. So you can see it's quite a high pH, and that is what opens and swells the cuticle there, allowing the powder inside. Then it's releasing the oxygen. So the oxygen from our developer and things like that is released, which makes the natural pigments and the granules of the natural hair pigment or the artificial hair pigment start to separate, Once we separate them, they then start to dissolve because they can't sustain on their own. So the powder goes in, it oxygenizes, and then it separates the natural or the cosmetic pigment, which then reduce down and disappear from the hair, thus lightening the hair, because that natural melanin or the artificial colour has been removed. So obviously there's a lot more technical side to that, but we're not going to go into it too much because I think a lot of people would be like, whoa. So, but that in general terms, if a client ever asks you, how does it work? That is how it works. So very scientific. So, what is unique about our approach? As we've mentioned, our approach at the moment is personalising services. So encouraging you guys in your salons to become more bespoke and offer them clients a bit more of a personal service. And that leads from our unique beauty stories, because the story is about the client, not about our looks. They're there for you, to motivate you and encourage you. But you need to write your own stories with your own clients, and we will support you with that. So unique is a key word at the moment. And that is where iBlonde comes in. Its unique service offers different aspects for the right lifting process. So what is lifting? Lifting can be separated really into 3 different categories. A light lift, where you're only maybe lifting a couple of levels, 1 or 2. A medium lift, you might want to shift a bit more of that colour. So you go in maybe it's like 3, 4 levels lift. And then a strong lift, a real pack-a-punch lift. Somebody's wanting to go quite drastic in the contrast from what they are to what they want to be. So a bit more of a powerful lift is needed. So we do have different objectives to meet. What is light to one is not light to another. So this client on this side would probably not think that this is light, because she's a high impact blonde. She wants to be up there and light and bright. Whereas this client may be petrified by the look of that blonde and scared that she's going to end up too light. So that's where you see that there's different mindsets, and what suits one and what one likes and appreciates is different to what the other one does. So we need to take into consideration when lightening that we all know once we start lightening, suddenly we're hit with all these warm tones. So these warm tones come throwing at us when we've started on a canvas what doesn't look warm at all. And that is the natural underlying pigment, the natural melanin, the pheomelanin really, which is responsible for the warm tones. Because once we've shifted that eumelanin, the darker residues, it suddenly becomes harder to lift because we're seeing warmth. And sometimes we see warmth and we may rinse a lightener off too soon because a warm colour looks brighter, so it looks lighter. So we need to be aware of underlying tones. So I would suggest for anybody to learn and understand all about the underlying tones, because once you know them, you can really then decide which bleach you need to use, and also for toning afterwards. So for example, if we are lifting someone and we've got them to a nice light yellow, we know we need to counteract with something silvery violety tone. So remember underlying tones during consultation, because you can figure out what someone's natural depth, what you're working is, what warmth is going to be created when you start to lighten. Okay? And that may help in your bleach choices, which we will come back to. So, history of iBlonde. So those of you who have been with us a few years now will know that in 2019 we launched the cream bleach. So we launched this, and I'm sure a lot of you have used this and love using it, and it's a very, very, very conditioning bleach because it is there to ensure that everything's moisturised and protected, which means it is specifically designed, and we can claim that we can use this as a scalp bleach. We can apply this on the scalp without hurting the scalp. So that's fantastic, because a lot of global application happens these days with a bleach. Then fast forward to last year, in the middle of the crazy pandemic, we still launched. So in 2020 we launched 2 new bleachers. So we launched our Super 9 bleach. Now what a fantastic thing. Super 9 bleach, 9 levels of lift, but more to the point, it's a more faster lifting bleach. So when you really need to give that hair a bit of a kick and remove some colour, the Super 9 is your go-to product if condition allows and it's achievable. So we'll touch again a bit more on when we would use this product later on. We also launched our freehand bleach. So our freehand bleach was launched, and that is really for obviously non-foil applications and literally being a bit more freer and creative and getting softer levels of lift to give nice sun-kissed ombre kind of balayage effects. So another popular choice and a well-needed choice. So now we come to April this year, our spring month. We are living in spring and we are launching 3 new line extensions to the iBlonde range. And you can see them at the front here. So these are really what I'd class as our traditional bleachers. And they've each got a need. So we have our classic white, our white lifting bleach. We have our extra blue bleach. So this is your white one. And you'll notice the packaging. So the colour of the packaging represents the type of bleach it is. So the white plus, you then have your extra blue, and I'll show you inside of these as well. And then finally, the ultraviolet. What a great name, ultraviolet. So the 3 new bleachers for this season. Classic white, and then the blue, which is a no orange bleach, and then the ultraviolet, which you can guess is a no yellow bleach. So we are tending to all the needs. So when would we use what and what can we use what for? Because now you're probably thinking, wow, we've got so many bleachers now, which do we use and when do we use it? Well, as we've mentioned, I've dropped it on the floor behind, but the cream bleach is your ideal bleach for the scalp. Scalp comfort and lifts enough to give you that nice lightened effect on the scalp. Now remember, the scalp area is always the easiest to lift. It's generally natural, and that first ½ centimetre is softer hair, so it's easier to lighten. So you're never going to need like a 9 level bleach or a super power bleach or anything there. The cream bleach is perfect for that. You can also use it for mid-lengths and ends if you want. Highly moisturising bleach, and the condition is left super soft and conditioned. Next, the iBlonde bleachers. So as we've mentioned, we have the freehand. The freehand is what we would use off scalp, and we would use it for softer, muted kind of lifts. So if you think of contrast from what you're starting off with to what you're wanting to achieve, this will give you less contrast. So it's going to give you, if you imagine, a bit more of a sun-kissed effect. So we all love when we go in the sun and our hair lightens slightly through the ends, especially when we were younger, or when I was younger. You wanted that. This is going to give you that effect. So you're not having to go to super power lifting bleachers and things. If all you're wanting is 1-2 levels lift just to achieve that nice soft sun-kissed result. So perfect off scalp, just to put some placement in freehand to slightly lighten. And it's going to give a more tonal reflection. So it's not necessarily going to break through all them underlying tones. It's going to allow them to reflect through and give you a nice reflective shine from your bleach. Then we go to the opposite end of the spectrum. So we go to the Super 9, what we've launched last year. And this is your one what you would go to if you're wanting maximum contrast to natural or what you're starting with. So when you're wanting to achieve quite a powerful lift, a more emphasised lift, and in a quicker way really, because this will actually lift you quite quickly. Within the first 30 minutes you can get up to 5 levels lift, and you will notice that. So when time is a must or result is a must, your Super 9 is perfect for that. But the main thing we're here to talk about today is the 3 new ones. So the new bleach is what we've just launched in the Eye Blonde range. And the first one being the white plus bleach. So I'm going to show you this. Obviously the colour coordinates, and you can see the difference between them. When you line them up on your counter space where you're mixing, you can actually see quickly which one you need to go for. So this powder, as you will see inside, is pure white. Pure white. So it's a very clear lifting product. So as always, it's going to give you up to 7 levels lift. And the benefit of the white powder is that it is going to be visible lift. So you're not going to have a tone counteracting and maybe making it look different to the result what it's meant to be. So for them people what like to see the lift without maybe scraping it off and checking, this is your go-to powder. And it's probably one of the powders what you may use the most. Definitely if you're utilising it in foils and things like that, it's going to give you the clearest result when quickly checking through the foils. Now, I mentioned earlier, everything's got a phytoprotein aspect to it. So the white one is spirulina algae. Now what this does is it reinforces and regenerates the natural properties of the hair. So you're maintaining natural feel and texture to the hair. This can be mixed with any developer. So we would mix this with any developer depending on the amount of lift we're wanting and how fast really you want to get there. My key tip when lightening is slower is the better. If we lift really with a powerful developer really quickly, it's harder to remove that underlying tone. So lower developer and slower lift the better. And these can be left on for up to 45 minutes. So you've got that 45 minutes to develop and work through them underlying tones so that you're left with a nicer, purer, cleaner tone. And these 3 new Eye Blonde powders give you more clarity. So the result is clearer than it was before, and the tonal quality is a lot more precise and clear. So you will see the results when you start to use them and how pure you get the blondes. As with all the bleachers, we are going to mix them on a 1:2 mixing ratio. Now, some people think, well, why do I need to mix my bleachers? I know I mix my colours so that it's not going to affect grey coverage and things like that. Well, it's actually the same reason. You're going to measure your developer for your bleachers because you get better results. If you don't mix to the standard mixing ratio, what's been tried and tested, then you're not guaranteed you're up to 7 levels lift, and you may not get the clarity to the blonde. So it is very, very important that you measure and weigh out your developer to your powder. So our white bleach we've talked about. We're now going to move on to our extra blue. So extra blue, which we have mentioned, is your one which is going to counteract orange tones. And you will see as soon as I open this, the actual depth of the blonde, of the blue is amazing. So already in your mind you know that that's going to counteract them strong orange tones what are present in a lot of people's hair. And this is good for maybe them slightly darker depths. So if you're working on maybe a level 5 or even a 4 sometimes, because they've got stronger orange tones in their hair. So the blue bleach is going to help to counteract them orange underlying tones during the lifting process, which means it makes toning afterwards a lot easier. So the key phyto ingredient in here is sea kale. So sea kale is very rich in vitamin E, which means it has anti-aging properties. Now you might think, well, what if I'm using it on someone young? Well, prevention's better than the cure, but also Generally, if you're using it on longer hair or coarser hair, that hair will be quite old. So it will help to revitalise. And if you're putting chemicals on hair, it almost does have a bit of an ageing process to the hair. So this is going to pull that back and revitalise the hair through that CK and the vitamin E inside it. So again, up to 7 levels lift and can be mixed with any developer. As we've said, the development time is up to 45 minutes for the 3 bleachers, and we would recommend that maybe after the first 30 you start to check it every 5 minutes. So lightening hair is always a visual time. So it's not like a tint where you can say the development time is 45 minutes. It is a time what we would recommend, and if the hair is conditioned and still moist, it will still be lifting. It's not going to stop lifting. So be aware that to check every 5 minutes, especially after 30 minutes, just to ensure you get that lift and you get the result you're wanting. So finally, the third bleach lightening product, what we're launching this month within the Eye Blonde range, is your ultraviolet. This is my favourite name. I love the word ultraviolet. Instantly you think ultraviolet when you imagine the lights and the reflectiveness, that like almost clear pureness when it reflects on white. So ultraviolet, you love the colour of this, has got that violet pigment in there. So as you can see, and it's not a muted violet pigment, it's a strong violet pigment. So as we've learned, the violet pigment is there to counteract yellow tone. So for anybody, especially maybe on lighter levels, what throw off a lot of gold, then this is perfect to counteract that. We all love our no yellow silver products, which we're going to talk about next time. So think about your ultraviolet is almost a helping hand within that line too, to create a cleaner, whiter blonde when you're dealing with a lot of underlying yellow. Okay, so we have, as we said, the complex to each individual one, and the ultraviolet is red algae. Now what is red algae? Red algae is a moisturising yet energising properties to it. So it's really going to give life and lift to the hair what you're using it on. So it's going to naturally soften it so that it doesn't feel dry after lightening, but it's going to be energised, so it's not going to be heavy, lank hair, what you find it hard to deal with. So you've got a revitalised, lively, healthy hair at the end of the lightening process. Again, you can lift up to 7 levels with this, as we talked about the contrasts and the emphasis of the results, your Super 9 being up there and your freehand being more subtle. These 3 are your everyday bleachers, what you would use in accordance to what you're trying to counteract. So you're not necessarily needing extra powerful lift, but you're wanting more effect than what you get from your freehand soft, subtle, sun-kissed. So 7 levels of lift, as always, mix 1 to 2 and can be mixed with any developer. So you've got, to me, 3 amazing helping hands for your salon. I always think when you have a launch, when we launch something or when anybody launches something, there has to be a need and a purpose to it. So we can't just stand still, we have to move forward because technologies move forwards, and that is really what we are doing. These 3 new bleachers, which have obviously replaced your older ones, are there with the new technologies and the new clarity, what you're going to see from the blondes. So you will see clearer results and stronger results. Healthier hair, shinier hair, more pure reflective tone. That is what your Eye Blonde lightening products are going to give you, because the hair fibre is respected through the AC oil complex. And now it's available throughout all the lightening range in your Eye Blonde. So you've got lots and lots to get to play with in your salons and create them bespoke looks and create unique beauty stories for each and every individual what walks through your door and sits in your seat. So that is the end of my talk to you about the products. As I mentioned, coming up soon we will have the new silver line, what we're going to talk about. But for now, I want to take any questions. So if there's any questions you want to ask, I'll have a little scroll through the comments, see if there's any questions what you've asked as we've been going along, and see if we can answer them. I think Irma has been answering questions as we've gone along, but if there's any questions regarding what I've spoke about now, then if you could just pop it in the comments again and we can talk it through. I think all questions so far have been answered, so as I say, if there's any new ones, and for anyone watching after, we will keep a check out and check if there's any new questions. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I will wait around a bit to see if any more questions pop up. But I think you'll agree, especially like with the new line and all the different coloured packaging now, it's a really eye-catching lighting system to go to and offers everything for you. How many lift on the new bleach? 7 levels. So all 3 offer you up to 7 levels lift. They can be used with any developer, and that will depend on the time it takes to get the 7 levels lift. So we mentioned also at the beginning about the images of the unique beauty story. Sorry, I'll just answer this question. Can you use it on the scalp? You can use it not directly on the scalp, but just next to the scalp. The cream bleach is for the scalp. So we would always recommend to use the cream bleach on the scalp, but you can then go next to it with the powder lighteners. So coming up, you'll see there's lots of activity going on social media, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, we've got lots going on, and on our YouTube channel, on Elgon Connect, and you'll be seeing videos of the step-by-step techniques of the 2 images behind me, so that's something to keep an eye out for. Yeah, so just to clarify, cream bleach is your scalp bleach. That is the one you would use on the scalp. We are aware that people do use powder bleachers on the scalp, but it is not actually recommended. I think we've had quite a few people watching today, so that's nice. Nice to see you all. Hope you're safe and well wherever in the world you are. I'd like to thank Irma as well for being there in the comments, answering any questions as we go along. She is the backbone to our education department. We thank her very much. Okay, I think we've covered everything. There don't seem to be any more questions coming through. I feel that Irma's done a good job in answering them as we've gone along, so that's great. And I would love to say thank you to all of you for taking part. Or can I combine bleach and powder when doing a full head bleach? Yes, you can. You can apply your cream bleach to your roots, but then away from that, like away from the roots, you can then go on to powder. That's no problem. You can do that. So keep an eye out, guys. We will advertise the next one. We will let you know when things are happening. And I would say check in every day, because there's something new every day, or something advertised every day what's coming up. If you have any questions, please just message us, drop us a line. If there's any doubts, anything you're unsure of, please just tell us and we will answer as much as possible, as quick as possible. So from me, I'm going to sign off. But if you do, as I say, have questions, continue. And I will thank you all, and I will see you all very soon. But thank you for your time on this Tuesday afternoon, or whatever time it is in your country. And I'll speak to you and see you all soon. Stay safe, guys. Bye.